Catastrophic Dorian strikes the Bahamas with full force.
CARICOM leaders express support for the Bahamas as the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency CDEMA activates the regional response mechanism.
And CARICOM lauds Trinidad and Tobago's contribution to the region. Welcome to this week's edition of the CARICOM NewsTime. I am Tusankin English Francis.
And I'm Dorian filling in for Michelle Nurse. Welcome to the program.
After sparing the Lesser Antilles last week, Hurricane Dorian slammed into northern Bahamas as a monster Category 5 storm on Sunday, 1st September. With wind speeds up to 180 miles per hour, it left extensive damage across the islands of Abaco. Hurricane Dorian pounded Grand Bahama on Monday, 2nd September, as it inched away from the Bahamas. Bahamas' Prime Minister Hubert Minnis addressed a news conference on the devastation of the strongest hurricane to hit the Bahamas in modern history.
We are in the midst of a historic tragedy in parts of northern Bahamas. Our mission and focus now is search, rescue, and recovery. I ask for your prayers for those in affected areas and for our first responders. The initial reports from Abaco is that the devastation is unprecedented and extensive. They are deeply worrying. The images and videos we are seeing are heartbreaking. Many homes, businesses, and other buildings have been completely or partially destroyed. There is an extraordinary amount of flooding and damage to infrastructure. I wish to report that the United States Guard is already on the ground in Abaco and has rescued a number of injured individuals. We know that there are a number of people in Grand Bahama who are in serious distress, and we will provide relief and assistance as soon as possible after the Met Department has given the all clear. Let me talk about our initial assessment of Abaco. 5 deaths are confirmed. There may be additional deaths that we can expect. Of the 25 individuals that were transported to New Providence, 2 has already succumbed. That would take the number of deaths to 7. And again, I want to assure and inform the Bahamian population that we can expect more deaths to be recorded.
Chairman of CARICOM Alan Chastney, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, said the hearts of the people of the Caribbean are heavy as once again a CARICOM member state is devastated by a dangerous hurricane. He underscored that the region continues to experience the effects of climate change. He assured that the Caribbean community stands ready to give whatever assistance required to deal with the effects of this tragedy. The Bahamian Prime Minister expressed heartfelt thanks to the outpouring of support from his colleagues, heads of governments.
2 years after receiving support from the Bahamas, following the battering from Hurricanes Irma and Maria, Dominica is returning the kindness. Dominica's Deputy Prime Minister Reginald Austri said his country is making an initial donation of $100,000 to support the Bahamas as it grapples with one of the worst storms in modern history. While logistics for the support is being worked out, he said Dominica is considering a more comprehensive package of assistance.
It will be very vivid in our minds that just 2 years ago, under 2 years ago, we were faced with a similar challenge. And the Bahamas was one of the first countries to offer us some assistance. And we believe that this is an opportunity not for us to reciprocate, but to act on humanitarian grounds and to offer whatever assistance we can within our limited resources.
The Barbados-based Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, has activated the regional response mechanism to the Bahamas. 2 rapid needs assessment teams were deployed to support the government in assessing the damage from Hurricane Dorian and in prioritizing needs. The teams include representatives from CDEMA's participating states, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, the Pan American Health Organization, and the United Nations Office for Humanitarian Affairs.
In other news, CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque has lauded Trinidad and Tobago's contribution to the region on the occasion of the Twin Islands Republic's 57th anniversary of independence. The anniversary was observed on 31st August. In a message to the Prime Minister Keith Rowley, the Secretary General said the significant role the country continues to play in the community was exemplified by its very successful hosting of the region's premier cultural showcase, CarFesta 14, which was held on the 16th to the 25th of August. He conveyed the community's best wishes for Trinidad and Tobago's continued progress and development.
Dominica is expected to benefit from a project to make its water infrastructure climate resilient. The Caribbean Development Bank, with the support of the United Kingdom, has committed to develop a strategic plan, including a feasibility study and a design to improve the country's water supply system. Head of Infrastructure Partnerships at the CDB, Andrew Dupine, said the improved water infrastructure in Dominica is key to its economic sectors.
ExxonMobil's much-anticipated oil production vessel arrived in Guyana's waters last week. The U.S. oil giant announced the arrival of the floating production, storage, and offloading vessel Liza Destiny in its oil-rich Stabroek block on Thursday, 29th August. The vessel traveled nearly 11,000 nautical miles from the Keppel shipyard in Singapore. Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, described the vessel's arrival as a historic occasion for the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
As the Caribbean community prepares to observe Caribbean Wellness Day 2019, Jamaica has boosted its laboratory capacity to analyze the sugar, salt, and fat content of food products. Jamaica's Bureau of Standard and the Scientific Research Council laboratories have been upgraded at a cost of Jamaica $20 million with the support from the International Development Research Centre of Canada. Jamaica's Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Thofton, said the initiative will assist the government's effort to reduce the high prevalence of non-communicable diseases. Under the theme Healthy Aging Starts Now, this year's Caribbean Wellness Day focuses on improving the quality of life of the aging population. It will be observed on September 14th.
Jamaica's Ministry of Health is also getting ready to launch a pre-exposure prophylaxis pilot program aimed at reducing new cases of HIV to zero. Acting Director for Health Promotion and Protection in the ministry, Dr. Simon Spence, earlier last week said the project will be launched before the end of the year. PrEP taken daily can reportedly reduce persons' risk of getting HIV from sex by more than 90%.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the CARICOM NewsTime. For more stories, you can log on to the CARICOM News site at today.caricom.org.
Visit the CARICOM website at caricom.org, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
See you next time.